Oh, I wake up to find the rays of crimson shining through the window. Don't you mean gold? That moon's not red at all. The drowsiness still overpowering me, I close my eyes again. But my sleepiness fades when I realize Subaru isn't next to me anymore. I look around and quickly realize that I'm in the nightmare world. Where is everyone? I'm completely woken up as that thought crosses my mind. Licht! I bolt up from the couch. Where are you? The recollection of yesterday forces me up, and the sudden rush of blood has my heart beating fast. Licht! I wrench my head in all directions, and worry hits me when I realize that Licht is nowhere in sight. Where could he have gone? Crash. Out of nowhere, I hear a crashing sound from the distance. My mind freezes. Was that from the kitchen? Licht, is that you? I tiptoe in that direction, pressing my hands to my chest. Licht, you better not be trying to scare me. There's no response. The sound of breaking continues, much louder, as I make my way to the kitchen. I grab a nearby broom to arm myself. I fearfully approach the kitchen step by step. But another loud noise makes me jump. I pin myself against the wall for cover. What's going on? Taking a deep breath, I clutch the broom tighter. Licht! Instead of a response, I hear what sounds like a menacing growl. What should I do? See, that sounds like the monster I was running away from? So maybe I should leave. Licht's not here, I'm sure. I gently peel myself off the wall, taking a step back. Suddenly, something moves behind me. Hey. There's a tap on my shoulder, and I feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Ah! I wildly swing the broom in all directions. Ugh. Get away from me, whatever you are. Risa, calm down. All at once, I feel my broom being held by an unyielding force. I try to pull it back, but the thing holding onto it is too strong. I slowly open my eyes and see Licht. Licht! Relieved, I fall to the floor. Phew, I was so scared I thought I was done for. You okay? Licht extends his hand out toward me. I take his hand and slowly stand up. Please don't scare me like that again. I'm sorry, I didn't... The crashing continues. Ah! On instinct, I cling to Licht. He goes stiff for a moment. I can feel his heart pounding in his chest as he blushes. Sorry. I try to let go, but he stops me. I wouldn't mind staying like this. How about you? I silently decide to stay close to him. Something's in the kitchen. Yeah, I actually heard it from upstairs. That's why I came down. What was he doing upstairs? I was resting. Licht answers as if he read my mind. Sorry for not asking you. No, not at all. It's not like I still live here. You don't need to be so polite about it. You definitely need plenty of rest. How are your wounds? My gaze is fixed on his shoulder. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. But the terrible noise is too much to ignore now, as if it wants our attention. But what could it be? Well, I've managed to meet up with Licht. We'd better get out of here. Risa, you stay here. I'll take a look. Licht leaves my side as he makes that statement. Wait! I can't let him go on his own, so I decide to follow him into the kitchen. We enter the kitchen and gasp at what we see. There are pieces of broken ceramics all over the floor. What's going on here? We can hear the growling of an animal. We both jump as a can of powdered milk falls from on top of the fridge. Hey, over there. Licht points to a shadow between the shelves. Two golden eyes are staring back at us. My heart gallops in fear. Is it the monster? Licht slowly approaches the shadow. I gulp, holding on to Licht for dear life. Licht reaches out for the box and pulls it down. Kitty! Oh, Kitty. I manage to hold back a scream just before it leaves my mouth. A cry accompanies the box as it falls to the floor, but it's a familiar sound. It's a cat! Talk about anticlimactic! But I'm glad it's just a cat. The creature stands overhead, its paws swiftly swiping at Licht's hands. Whoa. Careful, it might bite. The cat purrs in satisfaction, proud to have given us a scare. This little thing's been breaking the dishes. It's like the game Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Licht and I back off as it jumps to the floor and runs off. Phew. Gosh, that scared me. Oh, I thought it was cute. Cute? I don't think so. Look at all these broken plates. But it's a kitty. How could you not think it's cute? It's like there's another voice in her head that's just arguing with her. Licht's gentle laugh sets my mind at ease. You seem to be feeling better. Let's get out of here. I have some things to tell you. We leave my former home and walk around the neighborhood. On the street, Licht listens intently as I relay the information the guys and I found. This is the second time I've walked the streets together with him since regaining my memories. It feels strange walking side by side with him as an adult, but he still hasn't regained his memories of me. I wonder why he was brought to the orphanage. So you're saying our lost memories are connected to this orphanage? Yes. And after remembering the past, the monster weakened, allowing us to escape? I know that wasn't the case with Monica, so I can't be sure yet, but Licht seems to be thinking about what I've said. I know it's a lot to take in. I'm having a hard time believing it myself. Licht smiles. I believe you. Oh, Licht didn't even question it. What's with that reaction? I didn't think it would be that easy to convince you. Really? I've got no reason to doubt you. Licht smiles and lets out a little laugh. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze away from him. Licht and I stroll downtown to find the others. They might be at the park. I notice that we always end up starting wherever we last lost consciousness. Seeing that the monster appeared, it's unlikely they stayed in the same location, but I guess we've got no choice but to check it out. Come to think of it, have you ever fallen asleep in here, Licht? He said he was resting earlier, but he might not have been asleep. Maybe? Licht looks like he's struggling with words and changes the subject. What's it like in your world? Is it different from here? Why did he change the subject like that? Whether he doesn't understand what sleep is or he's just hiding something, he's definitely our key to discovering the truth about this world. Wouldn't hurt to ask, but... Interrogate him. But what if he becomes avoidant? But he might tell us later anyway. Fuck it. Why did you change the subject? Well, I don't really understand sleeping. But I lose consciousness sometimes, so I guess I do sleep? Huh. I guess I was reading too much into it. To answer your question, my world is bright and full of sound. I'd love to show you around if you can ever come. Hey, we should get ice cream. Ice cream? What does it taste like? Licht stares at me innocently. Confusion washes over me, but I try not to let it show in my face. Well, it comes in a lot of flavors, but it's always cold and creamy. I see. Licht stares ahead, but I continue to look at him, puzzled. I have so many questions. I wish I could have ice cream with you, Risa. It's such a simple wish, but it strikes a chord in my heart. Licht, who are you, really? We cross the gates to the park, and I find myself thinking about Licht's situation. Could he be a part of the monster, or maybe the one that controls the nightmare? But he saved my life from that creature. He wouldn't do that if he was connected to it somehow. And Licht is a real person. My memories prove that. So why can't we find him in the real world? What if... I stop in my tracks. Risa? What if he's not in the real world because he's already dead? Memories of him as a child, smiling, rise up in my mind and fade away. My theory is, what if he's in a coma? I feel my hope fading away along with those memories. What's the problem, Risa? Why did you stop? Licht tugs my hand, bringing me back to my senses. Oh no. I've been so caught up in my own thoughts that I wasn't paying attention. Oh, sorry, let's go. You seem so out of it. Are you okay? I force a smile. Yes, I'm... Licht holds up his index finger to my lips. If there's something that's bothering you, I want to help. I can't just ask, hey, are you dead? And even if I could, I don't know if I want to know the answer. And maybe he wouldn't know anyway. But maybe sharing my fears will make me feel better. His eyes are so sincere, I feel bad for thinking so negatively. Licht squeezes my hand as if assuring me it's okay to open up. I hesitate. Licht gives me a dejected smile. Even if you can't now, I'd really love for you to share your feelings with me in the future. No. I gather my courage and decide to confess my feelings. I'm scared, Licht. I lower my head, but his hand holds me firmly. Nonetheless, I drop my gaze, biting my tongue against the bitter assumptions I have in my mind. Why can't I see you in the morning? I meet with the others in the real world, but you? You're never there. Risa. You exist here, but we can't find you anywhere else. Why is that? I can feel my chest tighten again. What if... I look back up at him, fighting through the worst of my fears. I'm terrified that one day I'll wake up and hear about you on the news. Just like Monica. Or what if you're no longer a part of our world? What if you're already dead and we can never meet again? This nightmare world is terrifying and I hate it. I hate it, but the thought of never being able to see you again after being freed is worse. I want to be with you for... Licht cuts me off, using his free hand to push away a few strands of my hair away from my face. He then rests his hand on my cheek, cupping my face with both hands. Licht smiles at me gently. Do you feel that? Oh, I nod. His hands are so warm. Tell me how you feel. Warm and safe. I feel calm. A light chuckle escapes from Licht's lips. Good. I'm glad, Risa. Are you really that worried about me? Don't make fun of me. I'm serious. I'm like super serial. I'm not making fun of you. I really appreciate your concern. He bends forward, pressing our foreheads together, and the heat emanating from his body surrounds me. I have a lot of questions too, you know. Sometimes I terrify myself thinking about the same things you do. But... He brushes his thumb against my cheek. But right here, right now, I'm holding on to you. Licht. As long as you remember this warmth. As long as I live on in your memories. That's enough to keep me going. Oh, Licht. He smiles at me with a tenderness that breaks through the night, even as it hurts my heart. It's as if he's pleading for me to commit him to memory, because he doesn't want to disappear. I'll hold you right here. I won't forget, I promise. Risa. He brushes my skin with his thumb and tilts my head just a little. Lift. Am I gonna kiss two boys? Closes his eyes, leaning forward. Oh, no. Oh. What if Subaru shows up? The butterflies in my stomach flutter in anticipation of a kiss. As he inches closer, I feel a mix of excitement and confusion. Where have you guys been all this time? We hear Ray's voice from a distance. We hear Ray's voice from a short distance away. I immediately pull away from Licht, feeling my cheeks burn. Did he see that? You were right. We really did find them in the park. Licht chuckles, seemingly undisturbed by the interruption. We were looking everywhere for you. As Ray admonishes me, the others keep up, but my eyes are still pinned on Licht. We're finally all here. Toma puts his hand over his hips, trying to catch his breath. So what do we do now? We'll have to go back to we'll have to go back and check the orphanage. There must be something there that could give us a clue. More walking? Toma drops to the ground, squatting, and he ruffles his hair in frustration. Can't we take a break, please, Ray? Look at Licht. That wound looks pretty bad. Oh, I can manage. I got plenty of rest. Dude, you were supposed to be on my side. I can't help but giggle, but it's true that everyone seems exhausted. Start walking or we're leaving you alone. You meanie. I think we should stay. Subaru, who's been quiet all this time, suddenly speaks. What do you... Subaru silently points to something. It can't be. A cold sensation runs through my body. Everyone except Subaru gasps. We all turn to see a young boy with golden hair standing there quietly. That must be Toma. That boy looks like Toma. Ho ho! Toma smiles, standing up. He was terrified of the visions before. Now he seems almost excited. I guess that means I'll regain my memories next. Amidst Toma's delight, I find Ray clenching his fists. The thought of him beating me out on this. Huh? Is Ray upset? Stay behind to see where my younger self will take us. Hey, Toma, now suddenly energetic, starts approaching the apparition. Please be careful, Toma. I really don't want you to push yourself. Having experienced it myself, I know for a fact those apparitions give you a different kind of fear. Not a fear of death, but a fear of knowing the truth. I got this, Risa. I can handle it. He gives me a wink. I think back to the Toma from my own memories. Unlike the Toma I know now, he was a quiet, sullen child. The thoughts of his terrible past give me goosebumps. Young Toma leads us outside of the park and into a different part of the neighborhood. Hey, kid. Toma has made several attempts to talk to the little boy, but he doesn't respond. The child hasn't spoken. It reminds me of how quiet the young Toma was in my vision. Stop bugging him. What? What if he disappears because you're being too noisy? Are you really that salty because I'm getting my past back before you? I get it. You're worried about me, aren't you? The hell I'm salty. Something's wrong with Ray. Is that really why Ray's upset? Could there be a deeper reason? Ray kicks a pebble on the ground. Stone rolls down the street and hits the apparition, but instead of making contact, the pebble just passes through the child as if he were a ghost. He's stopping here? You arrive in front of a large house. Are we here already, little guy? The boy nods and passes through the bars. Toma and Subaru open the gates and hurry inside. Licht follows them. Ray, are you okay? Ray just stands there taking in the sight with an anxious expression. I'm scared. What? I'm scared, Risa. I've never seen Ray like this before. Why is Ray so hung up on this? It's not like these are his memories. I remembered that night we shared on his balcony. That time I felt like he would fly away if I didn't get a hold of him. Sometimes when I'm looking up at the stars like this, I feel like all my problems are tiny in the grand scale of things. If I go any further, I don't think I'll be able to turn back. He embraces himself gently. His eyes are blank, and I can't tell where he's looking. I can tell that he's shaking ever so slightly. I think back to my lonely past and can't help but sympathize with him. I want to help him somehow. What can I do for Ray? Bink. I take Ray's hand in mine, and I immediately feel him gripping it back tighter. His knuckles are so white. I open my mouth to speak, but my voice gets stuck in my throat. Why? I bite my lip instead, and now... Ray's eyes go narrower, thinking hard. I feel like the weight of his fears will pull him beneath the ground. Risa, It's a bit silly, huh? No, he's blushing. Ray lets out a self-deprecating laugh, lowering his gaze to meet mine. There's nothing silly about being scared. I've been rambling on about how we should solve this nightmare, and yet here I am hesitating. Still unable to speak, I shake my head. No, that's not a bad thing. I take Ray's hands in mine. His hands are trembling. He seems so distressed. I want to comfort him, but what can I say to... Ray pulls me in close to a tight hug. All of a sudden, he holds on to me for dear life like a young child afraid of getting lost. Aww. But my lips quiver in attempts to speak. I want him to hear me. Ray. He responds by burying his head in the crook of my neck. Oh my. There. You're safe. I'm here for you. It's okay, buddy. We'll get through this. I gently rub his back, trying to reassure him. He stops shaking. That's a relief. He relaxes as if the anxiety he's feeling has started to melt away in my arms. No matter what. He gently pulls away from me, but he doesn't let go of my hand. Whatever's happened in the past, I'll be able to see it through. Now that I have you with me. So deep down you're actually just a big softie. I chuckle a little, teasing him with a light swing of our entwined fingers. Ray looks at our hands, loosening his grip. Yet he only makes room for air to breathe. Still keeping his slender fingers between mine. Let's go. I nod, and we enter through the gates together, ready to face whatever is waiting for us. The door creaks as Ray opens it, and we find ourselves in a huge living room. Everything's arranged neatly, not a single thing out of place. It looks very normal, at least. We pass through the hallway, then Ray stops. Do you hear that? There's a rattling sound coming from inside the room under the stairs. Ray? Ray holds his index finger against his lips, signaling me to keep quiet. Bang, bang. The rattling stops and is replaced by something slamming against the door from the inside. Please open the door. Ray and I look at each other in shock. Who is that? Someone there, please. Ray reaches for the doorknob, but before he can get a hold of it, we hear footsteps from behind. We turn around and see another boy running towards him. Toma? Oh no, they're gonna bump into each other. Without much time to react, the young boy runs into Ray, passing right through him like mist. Ah. Whoa. Toma's distorted image floats for a few seconds until he regains his usual form, but we don't have time to comment on the phenomenon. Young Toma turns the knob and opens the door. Don't worry, your big brother's right here. Big brother? A young boy emerges from behind the door and rushes into the young Toma's arms. Toma has a brother? The little brother looks oddly familiar. What's happening? The vision of the two brothers unfolds in the space between us. They're a picture of love, the older comforting the younger. Big brother, why is Mommy so mean to me? I'm scared, why? Ray takes a step closer, and so does Toma, closing in from the other side. Ray? Step closer to him. A bruised, frail-looking child is holding onto Toma with all his might. The child lifts his head. Is this? We all take in the younger brother's features. The familiarity takes us by surprise. Ray? Toma shoots Ray an inquisitive look, the vision of two young brothers separating them like a thin cloud. Ray stands still, the clear confusion on his face. Toma? I shout from where I stand and Toma gives me a look. He's just as clueless. Shh, calm down. Mom does it because she's worried about you. Unlike me. And why does Mom hurt me like this? She keeps locking me up and yelling at me when I make mistakes. Mom lets you do whatever you want. She loves you more. Oh, poor babies. Young Toma pats his brother, stroking the little boy's hair. Don't worry, Ray. I'll protect you. The vision gradually disappears until the scene that separates us is no more. Toma? Ray? Ray takes a step forward, his eyes fixed on Toma. He opens his mouth, his words raspy as his breath grows short. Big brother? Aw, they're brothers.